everyone, Assalamu alaikum. This is Introduction to Psychology Part 2 by Dear Knowledge. Okay, so this is the chapter 3, which is about learning, and we have covered lots of topics in the chapter of learning. And the next lesson, which we have started in the chapter of learning, is about the concept of reinforcement. And in the concept of reinforcement, we have covered lots of topics. We have covered the primary and secondary reinforcement. After that, we moved towards the positive and negative reinforcement, and after completing the positive and negative reinforcement, we have started the schedules of reinforcement, and we have covered lots of topics in the schedules of reinforcement. So this is schedules of reinforcement. So here you can see on the screen, this is going to be the lesson 2, types of learning, and under the types of learning, this is the part 2, which is about the operant conditioning, and under the topic of the operant conditioning, this is the part 2J. The part 2J is the fixed ratio schedules of reinforcement, or fixed ratio schedule of reinforcement, which comes under the topic of the schedules of reinforcement. And the last topic which we have learned, the last video, was about the partial reinforcement effect and the continuous reinforcement, which comes under the topic of the schedules of reinforcement. And in the partial reinforcement effect, the other topics which we will be studying is the fixed ratio schedule of reinforcement, variable interval schedule of reinforcement, uh, and so on. So this is going to be the fixed ratio schedule of reinforcement. I would like to start with the proper definition because it helps in understanding the topic very easily, and if you're making notes right now, it will also help you in making the notes. So grab your pencil and start writing the definition. The definition of the fixed ratio schedule of reinforcement is schedule of reinforcement in which the number of responses required for reinforcement is always the same. So the key point which we have noticed here is, one of the points is the number of responses required to receive each reinforcer will always be the same number. Let's suppose if Professor Corner were teaching a rat to press a lever to get food pellets, she might require 20 lever pushes for each food pellet, or fixed ratio of if she were to graph the rat's progress, she would end up with something like the graph which is shown on the screen to the left. Now, notice two things about this graph. The rate of responding is very fast, and there are little breaks in response pattern immediately after a reinforcer is given. So the rapid response rate occurs because the rat wants to get to the next reinforcer just as fast as possible, and the number of lever pushes counts. So the pauses or breaks come right after a reinforcer because the rat knows about how many lever pushes will be needed to get to the next reinforcer, because it's always the same. So the next key point which we have noticed right here is fixed schedules are predictable, and that allows rest breaks. So, in human terms, anyone who does piecework in which a certain number of items have to be completed before the payment is given is reinforced on a fixed ratio schedule. And some sandwich shops give out punch cards that get punched one time for each sandwich purchased. And when the card has 10 punches, for example, the person might get a free sandwich. So this was all about fixed ratio schedule of reinforcement. If your concept is clear, you can like the video. If there was anything if there was any topic that was confusing, you can ask us in the comment section. Plus, if you're new to this channel, you can subscribe to our channel, click on that bell icon so you will never ever miss any notification. You can also share the link of our channel, the link of this video, with your family members and friends, because sharing is caring. Until then, Allah Hafiz.